Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying attention to the NFL landscape lately, you know that the Steelers are in a very interesting position heading into what promises to be an intense season. But what's really catching everyone's eye right now is a blockbuster trade rumor that could shake up the entire AFC North. And honestly, it's something that Steelers fans should be paying close attention to. Imagine the Steelers making a move for a top-tier wide receiver, a player who could instantly boost their offense and give them that extra edge they need to contend at the highest level. And I'm talking about none other than A.J. Brown, the former Eagles star, who might be on the move soon. I know it sounds crazy, but the NFL is full of surprises, and sometimes the biggest shakeups come from the most unexpected places. Let's step back for a moment and analyze the context here. The Eagles, fresh off a Super Bowl victory, are in a bit of a tricky spot. They've got an incredible roster, no doubt about that. They've got Jalen Hurts leading the charge, with weapons like A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and Saquon Barkley, guys who can take any defense apart on any given Sunday. The Eagles have built a team that's capable of back-to-back championships, and they've also got rising stars on defense like Nolan Smith, Quinion Mitchell, and Cooper DeJean, who are all making waves. But as always, the NFL is a league of fine margins, and even the best teams need to make tough decisions to keep their window open. And that's where A.J. Brown's potential trade comes into focus. Last season, Brown was a revelation for the Eagles. He racked up over 200 yards and scored 9 touchdowns despite missing a few games early on due to a knee injury. That kind of production, especially from a receiver who's only 28 and still in his prime, makes him a highly valuable asset. But here's the thing, Brown signed a hefty extension last offseason, a 3-year deal worth $96 million, which makes him the 5th highest paid wide receiver in the league after Jamar Chase's recent deal with the Bengals. That's a lot of money, and the Eagles are probably thinking about the future, especially considering the salary cap and the need to keep their core intact. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The Eagles, while having Devonta Smith as their future WR1 and Saquon Barkley as their ground game anchor, might see trading A.J. Brown as a strategic move. Think about it. If they can get a significant return, they could free up cap space, bolster their defense, or even target other key players to maintain their dominance. And let's be honest, trading a player of Brown's caliber isn't something teams do lightly, but sometimes it's the smart move to stay competitive long-term. And who would be the perfect team to make that move? Well, the Pittsburgh Steelers, of course. The Steelers have been quietly building a team that's ready to contend, and they're in the middle of an interesting phase. They just signed Aaron Rodgers, a veteran quarterback who brings a wealth of experience and leadership to the team. They also went out and signed players like Darius Slay and traded for veterans such as Jalen Ramsey, trying to create a roster that's capable of not just competing but winning championships. But here's the catch. The Steelers are still trying to finalize their contract negotiations with T.J. Watt, their franchise linebacker and one of the most disruptive defensive players in the league. Watt's contract situation is a ticking clock, especially with his contract expiring after the 2025 season and him set to hit free agency in 2026. This makes the Steelers' front office think strategically. They're trying to be all in this season, aiming for a Super Bowl run, and they've already made some aggressive moves. But if you look at their roster, there's a noticeable gap at wide receiver behind DK Metcalf, who they acquired in a trade. They traded George Pickens to the Dallas Cowboys, which created a hole at that spot. Right now, their depth at wide receiver isn't exactly stellar. Robert Woods, Calvin Austin III, and Roman Wilson are talented but not exactly proven game changers. So adding a player like A.J. Brown would instantly upgrade that position, giving Aaron Rodgers a true alpha receiver on the outside, someone who can dominate in contested catch situations, stretch the field, and provide that extra reliable target. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would the Eagles trade Brown to a division rival, especially one that's trying to go all in for a Super Bowl? Well, that's the intriguing part. Because you see, the Steelers could be willing to offer a package that's too good for the Eagles to pass up. One possibility is trading TJ Watt in exchange for AJ Brown. Yes, Watt, the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, who's been the heartbeat of the Steelers' defense. Watt's impact is undeniable. He's recorded over 57 pressures and 12 sacks last season, and he's the kind of player who can change the course of a game single-handedly. But the Steelers are in a tricky spot. They're trying to re-sign Watt, and with his contract expiring after 2025, they're running out of time to get a deal done. If they can't come to terms, trading him might become the best option to salvage their team's future. Imagine that for a moment, TJ Watt heading to the Eagles, a team that's looking to bolster its pass rush and add a game-changing edge rusher. And in return, the Steelers land AJ Brown, who would instantly become their top receiver. That reunites Brown with DK Metcalf, his college teammate at Ole Miss, and would give the Steelers a dynamic duo on the outside. Metcalf's physicality combined with Brown's route running and playmaking ability could redefine Pittsburgh's passing attack. Plus, adding a player like Brown would also help take some pressure off the Steelers' offensive line, giving Rodgers or whoever is under center more options and freedom to execute plays. And you know what's fascinating? From the Steelers' perspective, this trade makes a lot of sense. They're in a win-now mode, trying to surround Rodgers with as many playmakers as possible. They've already made bold moves this offseason, and acquiring AJ Brown would be the cherry on top. It's a win-win scenario. Watt gets a new team if the negotiations don't pan out, and the Steelers upgrade their offense with a proven, elite receiver who can be a difference maker in high-pressure situations. And for the Eagles, it's a smart move too. They can capitalize on Watt's high value, especially since his contract situation is urgent, and they could use that cap space or draft picks to bolster their roster elsewhere. Now, speaking of the impact on the league, this kind of trade could send shockwaves through the AFC North and beyond. The Steelers, with a revamped offense featuring Brown, could challenge the Bengals and Ravens even more fiercely. The division has been competitive for years, but adding a player of Brown's caliber would elevate Pittsburgh's offensive potency, making them a true contender. And let's not forget, the Steelers' defense, with Watt and other talented players, will continue to be a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. That combination of a potent offense and a stingy defense could make Pittsburgh a team nobody wants to face in January. And of course, I have to mention the broader implications. The NFL is evolving, and the teams that can adapt quickly, make bold moves, and maximize their roster talent are the ones that come out on top. The Steelers have shown they're willing to be aggressive this offseason, and a potential trade for AJ Brown would be just that, aggressive, strategic, and potentially game-changing. It's a move that could redefine their entire season, a move that could even set a tone for how teams approach trades and roster management in the future. So, as fans, we should be watching closely. Because if this trade actually happens, it's going to be one of those moments that everyone remembers, an off-season blockbuster that shapes the entire NFL landscape for years to come. Imagine the headlines, the highlights, the debates about who got the better end of the deal. It's exciting to think about, and honestly, it keeps us on the edge of our seats, waiting for what's next in this whirlwind NFL offseason. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster? Do you think AJ Brown would be the perfect addition to the Steelers' offense? Or do you believe they should focus on other areas? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion really matters to us, and more importantly, it matters to the Steelers organization. We love hearing your insights and predictions, so don't hold back. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more rumors, and more analysis on everything Steelers related. So stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep this Steelers family growing. Because at the end of the day, it's all about supporting our team, celebrating their successes, and sharing the thrill of NFL football. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.